So, all right, what's up, brother? So, with the story I have, I'm gonna go ahead and read the story. We can talk about it a bit if you want, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut to you for your story. So, this story is a little bit different from what I normally do. This is a serial killer story. Um, where's it at? I find it. Damn, I just had the shit pulled up. I was reading the scripts to you. Um,
Oh, is that
Larry
what
Jean
was
Bell.
you sent me a text? No, it was my dad.
Okay, the full story of Sherry Smith, Deborah Helmick, and Larry Jean Bell. Background on Larry Jean Bell. Larry Jean Bell was born on October 30th, 1949 in Alabama. He lived in a seemingly ordinary life after a brief silence in the U.S. Marines. He worked various jobs, including as an electrician and prison guard, but underneath that exterior, Bell harbored a disturbing and dangerous mind. Throughout the late 70s and early 80s, he engaged in criminal deviant behavior, including attempted kidnappings. Eventually, he would become one of South Carolina's most notorious killers. Kidnapping of Sherry Faye Smith. On May  31st, 1985, 17-year-old Sherry Smith, a bright, talented high school senior in Lexington, South Carolina, was just 2 days away from her graduation at White Knoll High School. The Friday afternoon, she drove out to the end of her driveway to check the mailbox. It was a normal task on a sunny day, but Sherry never made it back to her house. Her car was found still running, door ajar, and the mail scattered. She had vanished without a trace, snatched in broad daylight. Torment begins. Shortly after kidnapping, the Smith family began receiving bizarre and horrifying calls from a man claiming he had Sherry. The caller had an eerie, calm voice. He wasn't asking for money or ransom. Instead, he taunted them, talked about God, love, death, and the afterlife. He was toying with them. Then he did something truly disturbing. A few days after the abduction, he mailed a handwritten letter to the Smith family. It was titled Last Will and Testament, written by Sherry, clearly under duress. In it, she expressed love and goodbyes to her family. It read as if she knew she was going to die. FBI profiling. At this point, the FBI got involved, not FIB. I'm just read that script. FBI got involved. Agent John Douglas, one of the country's top profilers, joined the investigation. His insights revealed a dangerous narcissist who gained power by causing emotional devastation. Douglas devised a risky plan. Use Sherry's sister, Dawn Smith, to talk to the killer. Dawn spoke to him on phone. She played the role of kind, non-threatening listener. Bell seemed to be mesmerized by her voice. After days of taunting, the caller finally gave the family the location of Sherry's body. On June 5th, 1985, her decomposing body was found near a wooded area in Saluda County, South Carolina. Thought it was difficult to determine the cause of death due to decomposition. It appeared she had been suffocated with duct tape over the nose and mouth. The Smith family was devastated, but the nightmare wasn't over. Kidnapping of Deborah May Helmick. On June 14th, 1985, just 2 weeks after Sherry's death, 9-year-old Deborah May Helmick was playing outside her home in a trailer park near Columbia, South Carolina. I didn't realize it was Columbia. Columbia, South Carolina is literally right by Fort Jackson and where Penny lives. I
That's
didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm gonna cut that out of the video. When she too vanished, eyewitnesses described a clean-cut white man in a silver car who grabbed her and sped away. It was nearly identical to Sherry's case. Again, the Smith family received a phone call. The same man, Larry Jean Bell, claimed responsibility for Deborah's kidnapping and murder. She had been dumped in a remote wooded area like Sherry. She had been bound with duct tape and suffocated. The signature was the same. The critical break came from when the investigators examined the last will and testament written by Sherry. They found a fingerprint and a smudged phone number on the back of the document. After extensive analysis, they traced the partial phone number to the house where Larry Gene Bell had been working as a house sitter. He had babysat for the family, and they had written down their number on notepaper. Bell had access to. Further surveillance and forensic investigation linked Bell to both crime scenes. Hair fibers, tape residue, and matching descriptions confirmed the connection. Bell was arrested on June 27, 1985. Bell was charged with both murders and tried separately. In 1986, he was convicted for Sherry Smith's murder. In 1987, he was convicted by Deborah Helmick's murder. As well as 1986, my mom was born. 1987, my stepdad was born. At both trials, Bell represented himself, part of the time frankly launched into bizarre, rambling religious statements in court. He even tried to act insane, but the courts found him competent. He was sentenced to death by electrocution. For nearly a decade, he appealed the verdict, often causing a public outcry and reliving trauma for the families involved. Finally, on October 4th, 1996, Larry Gene Bell was executed in the electric chair at Broad River Correctional Institution in South Carolina. He refused to give a final statement. He did not express remorse. Bell is suspected in at least one other disappearance, the Sandy Elaine Cornett, a 26-year-old who vanished in 1984 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Under eerily similar circumstances, however, changes were never filed. Dawn Smith, Sherry's older sister, became Miss South Carolina in 1986. She used her platform to speak publicly about violence against women and faith during suffering. The Smith and Helmick families became advocates for victims' rights and were involved in memorial foundations. The story of Sherry Smith and Deborah Helmick lives as a chilling example of how one man's twisted needs for control and psychological domination led to unthinkable tragedy. It also represents a turning point in FBI profiling, media engagement, and how law enforcement handle family-involved negotiations with serial killers. Their family strength and resilience continue to inspire to this day, and that's it.
Now, hold up a sec. You said your mom and dad were 86 and 87?
Yeah.
They were born.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, I could be your grandfather. I would say, dude, I'm 68.
Hey,
1968 is my birthday.
Oh,
1968.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your
Yeah,
folks, your parents are younger than me.
I think my
I could be your daddy's daddy. That's
yeah,
crazy. Jesus Christ. Jiminy Christmas, I feel old.
My grandpa is 50 something, and I think he's 60. No, he's 70 right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe 71. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my time's almost up with this room, so we got to make a quick thing here.
Tell your story about your daughter, and then we'll wrap it.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to send you a video.
Yeah, send me the video, but if I can play it, but
okay. All right.
Tell the story what happened.
This is one of the wildest things I've ever dealt with. Okay, so I have several daughters, and my youngest daughter, back in the day, we used to go to church, and she would always fight me. She was like, no, I don't know. Well, I got her to come into church, and we were sitting there, and the pastor started talking something about, the uh, lying, telling lies and stuff like that. Well, I look over and my daughter's crying, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, freaking out, man, freaking out."
Yeah.
So I took her in to have her talk to the youth pastors and stuff, and they explained everything. Doesn't work like that. Jesus forgives, but you don't want to make that mistake a bunch of times. Anyway, fast forward to she's 23, I think now.
Yeah.
And so she's always played this where she didn't know. She always thought like maybe like the Big Bang Theory, okay? Like, everything's science. We're nothing but there's a scientific explanation for anything that we believe in, as far as in God and the heavens and the whole nine yards. Okay, so she was kind of like a non-believer because she didn't understand, and she made a comment. She's like, okay, well, she goes, if God made us in His image, then who made God? Which is a good argument. It's a good question. Okay.
Yeah.
She would sit there and say, if God is real, then show me proof. Okay, well, God showed her proof. my 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 grandfathers are passed. Okay, and when my daughter was little, my grandmother, um, it was she always loved her grandkids. Boys, girls, didn't matter. But my daughter was one that was a special grandchild, so she got spoiled a lot. And
Yeah.
what was wild was I just got a freaking message from my daughter a few weeks back, and she was like, "Look, we need to talk." And I said, "Okay, what's wrong, baby?" And she says, "Well, I went and saw a medium." And I went, "What?" So you went and saw somebody, and she goes, "Yes, but being she's, in the Navy and everything, she's like, I didn't want to just go to anybody because you got some that take advantage of people." She goes, "This particular person said things to her that wouldn't, you really couldn't know. This is not something that you just go, oh, well, hey, you like the color blue or you like water, okay?"
Yeah.
This was something that hit her really, really hard. And she had said that when she bought her new condo, um, she was feeling things cold, in the room, or um, certain things will catch out of the corner of her eye and whatnot. And she said this particular time she had cameras in her house, and this is the video that I'll be sending you to put on air. It shows from the living room kitchen area to the dining room, and on the back wall of the dining area is some mirrors, and she has two cats, and so you can see one of the cats in the video on the ground next to the back the dining room table. And then if you look in the mirror, you can literally see an aberration move across the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she went and asked this medium, um, what's going on. And so the medium sat there and started making some comments to her pertaining to um, what the cards were reading, okay? And come to find out, it's one of my grandmothers that's in her house. Blew her mind, got her kind of all free and freaked out, this and that. Listen, but you gotta think about it. If you're gonna have a ghost in your house, You want a nice ghost. You don't want a bad ghost. You know, I'd rather have a family member that's passed and gone in my house visiting me, versus somebody that's there to
Yeah.
scare the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So
Like
that
your
was,
wife's grandma, your girlfriend's mom.
yeah. Well, it scared the crap out of her and made her think, and that was the thing, is it put her into perspective of, hey, at least you know it's God's real. If you look around, and you know, that's one of the other things. Speaking about my
Yeah.
girlfriend, her, we're sitting there watching TV the other night, and both of us sat there. We made some comment pertaining to struggling about bills, and all of a sudden, this commercial that I've never seen popped up, and it was pertaining to a biblical uh, reference in the Bible about the struggles of life. And we both kind of looked at each other like, what the heck? How did that just all of a sudden pop up there when we're talking that? You know what I mean? You got to know how to read the signs.
Yeah.
That's it. They're all over. You know, he puts them all over. You just got to open your eyes, open your heart, believe, and then that's where you see that. So, anyway, back to my daughter. That was one of those things there that was pretty. Uh, her first real ghost experience. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I know we need to walk and talk. Remember, for this episode or video or faces aren't being shown, so you can walk and talk if you need to. Just giving you a reminder if they're trying to kick you out. I keep seeing you look. I'm guessing looking to the door. That's why I'm saying that. You good?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I was just saying. I saw you kept looking towards the door, and that's why I was saying if you need to. In this video, of all it's showing is just a random picture I put up there. So you say if you need to walk and talk or walk up to your room and keep talking, you can.
Oh no, this is the room that I'm using for the podcast and stuff is one of those ones that's for the whole apartment complex, and it's on a time thing. And so there's somebody here that's wanting to do their podcast, and so I'm running out of time. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyway, but
Yeah.
that was basically it with that with there, and I'll send you the video for it, and if you zoom in on the video, or take a still shot like I did, you can actually see the back of the chair, and then it's a white blur in the next frame. It's just really cool. Really, yeah. I mean, it sends shivers up your spine to think about stuff like that. But you know, to catch ghosts uh, on camera, man, that's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, good catch up with you. I'll definitely have to get back together again.
Your screen's froze, by the way.
Might be your shit. Uh, no, but
I
like I
see,
said,
but you're frozen.
good catch up with you. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, that's all that matters. All right, so good catch up with you. Peace out. I hope you have a good one, and catch everyone in the next one. Love y'all. Peace out.